Let's then turn to Ms. De Haas's allegations that you cite under that heading. You deal with Ms. De Haas from paragraph 74, and you state at page 27 of your statement, I also noted complaints from Ms. Mary De Haas, an academic and long-standing observer of policing oversight issues in KwaZulu-Natal. These complaints are attached here to and marked SM8. SM8 is your annexure, and it will be in file 2 of your statement, yes, file 2. SM8 starts at, have you
yes,
located it?
I have it.
It starts at page 265. You see that?
Yes.
So let's then look at your SM8. On my reading, it is actually made up of multiple documents, and I would like that we won't deal with all of them, but I note from SM8 that at 274, Ms. De Haas, on the 31st of October 2024, wrote a letter specifically to you, the Honorable Minister of Police, Mr. Senzo Mchunu, and this appears to have been dispatched per email. Are you at 274?
Yes.
Just for the record, you confirm, well, I take it you confirm receiving this document because you are the one providing it to the Commission.
Yes.
Thank you. And this letter is quite a lengthy one, but I just want to highlight some aspects. And it starts under item 1. This letter and its 3 appendices is to request that, for reasons I set out fully below, you take urgent and appropriate action to deal with the abuses and gross wastage of personnel and financial resources by the irregularly constituted political task team. You see that?
Yes.
I continue. In this regard, I request you, 1.1, instruct the National Commissioner subs to immediately disband the irregularly constituted, unnecessary and wasteful political killings task team and send its investigators back to the detective units established provincially and nationally in terms of the subs legislation. The National Commissioner must immediately stop the deployment of General Kumalo, who heads CIS, to this task team, which he did not have the qualifications and experience to command in the first place. Why was he allowed to occupy both positions, for neither of which he has qualifications at the same time? I'll pause there for a moment. Did you respond to Ms. De Haas's letter?
Possibly we did by acknowledging correspondence as we normally do, but I didn't substantively respond.
Okay. And is it fair to assume that in that letter, one of the first things you raised with Ms. De Haas is that she errs when she considers the political killings task team to be irregularly constituted, because you know differently? Did you bring that to her attention?
As I say, I didn't respond to her substantively.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Perhaps let's start here. Do you recall what issues you could potentially have raised in your response? You can't, off the top of your head.
I didn't respond substantively to her.
Okay, how did you respond then? I get it's not substantively. I'm trying to
yes.
understand.
It would just be acknowledgement or of receipt of
yes.
what she wrote, but not substantively.
Also, in your response to her, you didn't engage with the content of her letter?
No, not at all.
Why not?
Well, I felt that it was sufficient to acknowledge that I received the letter, but without necessarily substantive follow-up on the matters.
So then it has got to be that you took the content of her communication, this letter, seriously. It required no further engagement with Mr. Haas on, no verification, because we know from your statement that those are as some of the PKTT issues and challenges that you had in mind when you decided to disband. So you took on board what Mr. Haas told you. Regarding the PKTT in this instance, she goes broader, of course, in that letter against various senior personnel within SAPS. But let's confine ourselves to PKTT. You accepted her allegations as she advances against PKTT, and they informed your decision to disband, amongst others.
No, not to that extent.
Okay, to which?
I just read what she was saying, and we acknowledged receipt, not to say that it would have played any role to whatever extent when I wrote the letter.
So this letter too does not reflect the human rights abuse concerns that you enumerate under that heading in your statement.
I indicate that in my statement, insofar as she indicated those things to me as part of what I received, not to say it would have or it would have been the only factor that I saw this and then it influenced me. It is just something that I acknowledged, but it is, I must say that I am aware, other than from her, of what I indicate here, and part of it is in the allegations made by the 8 people. So it was merely to indicate, but I know that there are other people outside this. In fact, it could be more than 2 in the 8 who had specific cases that could be interpreted as of human rights abuse.
Sorry, I'm a little confused, Minister. Did you take this letter into account when you made your decision on 31st December 2024?
Not necessarily the letter, but I took what I had picked up in the process into consideration. I had that, but without necessarily attaching a weight that could be interpreted as having influenced you to write the allegation. There are structural issues, there are budget issues and other issues that were more weighty than this. This I threw in as part of the environment.
So the similarity between the language used in this letter and your disbandment letter, purely coincidental?
Purely coincidental. I didn't memorize anything.
You didn't have it with you when you wrote your disbandment letter?
No. In fact, most of the letters, and I suppose this is one of the letters, the way we do it in the office, PAs would present a letter. There's a letter here, Minister. It comes from so-and-so and so-and-so. Summarize the content. The complaint is about 1, 2, 3. Write acknowledgement and file the letter. And I didn't have it at all.
Thank you, Commissioner. You say, before your engagement with Commissioner Khumalo, your response to my question was that this was not the only factor, correct? The contents of this letter.
Yes.
Is it correct to say that it was one of the factors?
It would be correct to say it was one of the factors, in a sense that I'm putting it, because the factors, when you do something, you don't weight them the same.
Yes.
But even if they are all factors.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, that is important to know because she raises a number of issues. So I'll just perhaps go through a few to see which played a role in this decision. But before I do so, I would like to invite your comment to her paragraph 1.2. And that, remember, she said, in this regard, I request you to, we dealt with the first sub-point at 1.1, now I'm at 1.2, still at page 274. And she says, prioritize the establishment of a judicial oversight body to investigate the dockets taken by the task team, including but not exclusively the 3 matters I provide details of in the annexure. Since there is a great deal of other information about grossly irregular conduct of this task team, the investigative mandate of such a body must be wider than these 3 cases. Then she says there is a great deal more information about the suspicious and criminal actions of this task team. I don't have to go beyond that. My first question to you is, did you understand what judicial oversight body Ms. De Haas was calling for?
Not to the extent that I engaged her on it,
Yeah.
just on reading what she was saying.
But just from the reading here, were you able to appreciate what she's talking about or what she's asking of you to do?
I think I understood judicial, where you appoint a judge to investigate.
You wouldn't have if it's a judicial inquiry, I speak under correction perhaps, but I've always understood that to be the preserve of the president. Is that what she had in mind? Or?
Exactly, because that any judicial inquiry is appointed by the
Yes.
president. I just saw that and understood it in that particular context.
So her request to you that you establish one, it's doesn't make sense. She doesn't understand how the law works and how the systems work, right? Would it be fair to say so?
It would be fair.
Yeah, okay.
It would be fair.
I think the most important part of that subparagraph is the claims she makes. And she says there's a great deal of information about the grossly irregular conduct of this task team. The investigative mandate of such a body must be wider than the 3 cases. So she specifically says there is a lot of other information regarding the grossly irregular conduct of the PKTT. Do you see where I am? Because this is the PKTT she's talking about here. And for avoidance of doubt that it is the PKTT, her subject line in the letter reads as follows. A call for the immediate disbandment of the SAPS political killings team under the command of General Khumalo and the urgent establishment of a judicial oversight body to investigate task team operations and cases and related matters. So we know this is the task PKTT she's talking about. And she alleges that it is guilty of a great deal of grossly irregular conduct. Did that concern you?
Well, on eyesight, as you read, you do get concerns.
Yes.
But you read and the extent of allegations, wide nature, and the way she writes, just too many things all at the same time. You get the impression that she's all over.
Yes.
And you end up with that kind of a taste in your mind.
Yes. It is quite a long letter, and she covers various topics.
Yes.
And I think I appreciate your challenge, but matters such as what I have read would surely strike you once there are allegations of gross irregularities by an officially established task team of SAPS. Is a matter that really would be of concern. I would expect it to be to you. Would it?
I'm saying, insofar as you read, you come across.
Yes.
It sounds like that.
Yes.
But you go on and read, you finish. You have that kind of mixed feeling up until possibly you get to an incident that there could be a concrete reference that could be there or referenced.
Oh.
And then you would be able to raise your level. But it's not like you want not to read what she has written. You want to read. She's quite, especially those of us who come from KZN, we recognized her as a person of substance.
Yes.
And sound mind for quite a long time. And very helpful during the dark days of the apartheid era and struggle for liberation era. So from that background, you don't cut off and say, I no longer, but
yes.
you know, but your extent of attention to detail follows the pattern of writing, if I could describe it as such.
If then I can just test my understanding. Sorry. To use your words, she's all over. So you say you start reading as you go on. It's half a book. Are you suggesting that whilst it may have struck you being on the first page,
yes.
that there are allegations of gross irregular conduct by PKTT members?
Yes.
As you read on, by the time you reach the end of the document, you question yourself seriously about the validity of the claims advanced. Is that?
You do have those questions raised, especially despite the fact that she also wrote to Parliament.
Yes.
And raised more or less similar issues, to the portfolio committee.
Yes.
But you do have that, but you are not saying you don't recognize.
Indeed.
You haven't read anything. You don't leave with that impression that I've read nothing. You say there is something that she's saying, but you leave it at that.
So then, based on that explanation you gave, we shouldn't expect you to have acted on that claim and investigate this grossly irregular conduct. Because as you say, she goes on and on and on until you basically question yourself whether there is substance to her allegations.
Yeah, because unless they refer to specifics.
Yes.
If she says there's more information, there's more information, you can hardly, unless you really are dedicated to check what those things are.
Okay. I'll skip 275. She deals with other issues there under 2 and 3. I'll go to 4. And at 276, she starts with General Khumalo. She says the background of General Khumalo is of relevance. It is rather late in the day for us to engage with the detail of in relation to this issue regarding General Khumalo. She states, in 2018, former disgraced SAPS National Commissioner Cele, who himself is implicated in at least 2 serious criminal cases which have been opened, had been appointed Minister of Police. He's believed to have arranged a placement for Khumalo, whom he probably knew from the 1970s in the KZN, in the political killings team. Then she speaks of Khumalo being the head of PKTT, makes quite a couple of many allegations. But the important thing is at the bottom of 276, she concludes that at the end of 2022, Khumalo was appointed by Cele to head SAP's crime intelligence, having no training or experience in that field either. So he currently occupies both positions. Recent media reports refer to serious allegations against him by other CIS general, or by another CIS general, in brackets, who is alleging that attempts to dismiss him are malicious. In matters relating to Khumalo, I have made reports to Parliament from 2021. Are you aware, or did you engage Parliament at any level and in any form about these matters that Ms. De Haas had brought to the attention of Parliament regarding General Khumalo? Did you make inquiries or try to find out?
No.
This is General Khumalo, head of crime intelligence. That's a very senior post. You were not inclined to even inquire?
No,
Okay.
I didn't.
Why not?
I wouldn't say I was not inclined, but I didn't.
Okay. I find it quite odd, because if we go back to your paragraph 73, where you list all these HR issues by various lieutenant generals and major generals, you engage with the issues and you even appoint the deputy minister to resolve the issue. Now, these are lower ranking officials within SAPS, and here you are confronted with allegations against a senior member, no less than the head of crime intelligence, SAPS. And we are told that Parliament has been made aware of these issues, but you don't engage with those ones. You don't.
Not really. I didn't engage Parliament.
Then at 6, at 277, she's got cases there she refers to. Says you'll note that in the 3 cases detailed in the annexures, there are other common themes, all linked in one way or another to political interference by former police minister Cele. And based on what she had said above, the political interference would be interference within the SAPS environment. Did you understand it the same?
Yes.
Now, if you have a former minister interfering politically in that environment, was it not incumbent upon you to do something? And if the question is, what do you do? I would say the first would be to engage the president. You didn't think to have a discussion with the president, more so as the 3 of you, the president, yourself, and as I understand, Minister Cele, are from the same political party. So even if you don't do it through the official channels of the executive, that you can do it within the political sphere, within the same political party. That you have concerns that the former minister is interfering in SAPS affairs. You didn't do that.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Now, it goes on in that vein, but seeing as I think your response will be you did not act upon any of our allegations, you didn't make further inquiries, but these claims advanced by her are some of the issues you took into consideration in disbanding the team. That is why you placed them before the commission. Is that a fair conclusion?
Less of particular claims, more of what you see as it is, that she wrote, and I'm saying to the commission, she wrote.
Yes.
And this is what she wrote.
Now, you didn't investigate any of her claims in circumstances where you have the absolute resources to do so. What minister are you asking the commission to do with the contents of that letter and those claims? I dare say the commission has got far less resources than your office would have to investigate these claims. What are you asking the commission to do?
Well, I'm asking the commission to see what I saw,
Okay.
and then the commission will decide.
But you would like the commission, having seen what you saw, to then understand that what you didn't take these issues into consideration in disbanding the task team.
That I didn't take.
That you didn't, or you did take them into consideration. Where do we land?
Not in the sense of all these matters that are indicated here, but in the sense of her having raised some issues.
Yes.
I said, one of the people who wrote to me is this one, this is what she wrote. But without necessarily picking up a specific issue and saying whatever I would have said in writing. In writing the directives, I was just focused on the issues that I raised.
Yes. I hear your answer. I'm somewhat struggling to understand it, but the fault is mine. I've had a long day, so I don't lay that at your doorstep. As long as the commissioners understand, that's the most important. Thank you. Thank you.
So can I just understand that last part, Minister, what you've said there? In the context of this conversation that you exchanged, that you've been having with Ms. Silo, are you saying you did take into account the issues raised by Ms. De Haas as contained in the documents that you have placed before us in your decision? Is it part of what you took into account, or you did not?
I didn't, in the sense of issues, picking up this issue that she's raising, that issue, and then say these issues are two or three of the issues, and I'm now accepting them as part of factors. But in the context of her writing about various issues as a violence monitor, I just said, what did Mary say, or what is she saying? She's saying what she's saying here, what she said in the portfolio committee, and I'm making it available to the commission, and nothing beyond.
Okay. So if we listing the factors that you took into account,
Yes.
If we create a table of the factors you took into account, should we exclude the Mary De Haas submissions to you? We should say, no, the minister did not take anything that Mary De Haas said to him in his decision to disband the PKTT. I'm asking the question in that way
Yes.
to try and understand what you did
Yes.
with these submissions from Ms. De Haas.
Exactly that, because I didn't go through them as I sat down to write, to say I'm picking up this. If I remembered at all, I don't recalling what is contained here. It was merely to say people who ever said something to me made allegations of whatever nature, of whatever extent, validity. These are the ones who I read about or I came across. So I would say, by and large, the commission will apply their mind. I applied my mind, not to get into detail, not to pick up anything, because, as I say, not to go to the president about them, not to go to parliament about them. So the commission will make up their mind.
Yeah, well, we're not making up our mind, to use your language, in a vacuum. We get the documents,
Yes.
we read them, we make up our minds about them. We're not doing that.
Okay.
We look at your decision. Remember, the terms of reference require us to also look at whether any member of the executive
see.
Abetted, aided, is complicit in the infiltration. Something that I know it's not the exact wording, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
There's that term of reference. So when we look at the Haas's documents that you have placed before us and what you say in the statement about her, we look at it for the purpose of determining if it influenced your decision in any way, because that's our only interest, is did Ms. De Haas have anything to do with the decision of the minister? That's why Commissioner Kumalo asks you, is it a coincidence that your letter looks like hers? It's because we are looking at, you've given us this document from Ms. De Haas. Do you give them to us because you say, yeah, look at that, those 100 pages, that's part of what I took into account? That's one possibility why you place them before us. Or we say, well, we've listened to the minister. He's told us that Mary De Haas is completely irrelevant to his decision to disband the PKTT. I'm trying to get that kind of clarity for myself. Is she completely irrelevant?
Specifically, she is not relevant on these matters, but human rights issues are relevant.
Yeah. Minister, let's take it slow. My question, Ms. De Haas writes to you with a whole lot of demands and telling you what must happen. And then she gives you, either she gives you or you got hold of these documents. And we're interested in the period before you made your decision,
Yes.
not what she went and said in Parliament.
Yes.
We are interested to see what role did she play in your decision making, right? And so I ask the question with that context,
Okay.
or that background. Is she, what she gave to you, her letter to you, and anything else that she has said, whether directly to you or publicly, before the 29th of December, before you made the decision, was any of it relevant in your making the decision to
No.
disband the PKTT?
No.
No. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Commissioner. If we can turn then to, we're still staying with SM8, but now we're at page 265. And here I am just highlighting one or two things, because as with the claims of Ms. De Haas, they relate to criminal and irregular conduct by member of SAPS, except she raises them insofar as they relate to the PKTT, okay? So now we turn to this document at 265. This is an official complaint registration form for the Portfolio Committee on Police in Parliament. You brought it to the Commission and I raise it with you because if you turn to page 267, there is a specific question there that appears in the form. It appears like a pro forma question. Where have you taken your complaint before approaching Parliament? And the response Ms. De Haas fills in is, it was sent to the Minister of Police on the same day as it was sent to Parliament. You see where I'm reading? The second box at page 267, just above the box is a question, where have you taken your complaint before approaching Parliament? And her response is typed in the box below that, and the first line is, it was sent to the Minister of Police on the same day as it was sent to Parliament. You see that?
Oh, yes, I see that
Okay.
middle box.
Yes.
Yes, I'm trying to
So-
read it.
I say why I am bringing this to your attention is it would appear that these issues that are set out in this document to Parliament, as Ms. De Haas claims, were also brought to your attention.
Yes.
Is she correct in that regard?
To say,
Says it was sent to the Minister of Police on the same day it was sent to Parliament.
Probably,
Okay.
although
Because,
I don't have both dates.
This would look like a retyped version because at the original that is signed by Mr. Haas starts at page 268. And I think it's dated it's signed by her 4 November 2024. So it would appear that somebody, it's not the most legible, so it appears like somebody rewrote it, or because this version is unsigned, but it is exactly the same. So we assume this is the one that you received probably on or after the 4th of November 2024.
Yes.
Okay. Now, once again, she repeats her call for the disbandment of the irregularly constituted political task team headed by General Kumalo, and calls for an urgent need for an oversight body and audit of task team funding. Now, one of the reasons, I think, or as part of the reasons, you advanced for the disbandment of the PKTT was a cost issue you raised in your statement. Am I just in summary?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, this document at page 265 states, under the statement of complaint, there is a box split in two. The upper portion is a smaller box than the bottom one. Do you see that?
Yes, I hope what.
Okay, I want to draw attention to the bigger box now, the second one, where she starts with the words, please see attached letter. Do you see where I'm reading?
Where she says what?
Please see attached letter and 3 annexures for full details.
Minister.
265.
265.
Yes, there's the heading, Minister, statement of complaint. Do you
Official
see that?
complaint.
The statement of complaint. There's a heading like that. Do you see that?
Oh, yes, in the middle.
Roughly halfway.
Yes, I see that.
Then there's the smaller box with 3 lines. You see that?
I see that.
Then
A call for.
the next
Oh,
one.
I see.
Please see attached.
Please see, yes, I see that now.
I'm indebted, Chair. Thank you. Says, please see attached letter and 3 annexures for full details. I need to add that since sending an advance copy to the committee secretary and to the Minister of Police on Friday, 1 November, allegations made by other police members about excessive expenditure by members of this team have apparently been confirmed by a report I received over the weekend that the Provincial Commissioner of SAPS, General Mchunu, approved funds for accommodation at the luxury Umhlanga Rocks Hotel Oyster Box and upmarket bed and breakfast establishments in the same Umhlanga Rocks area, and that as a consequence there is insufficient money for petrol for some police vehicles. I'll stop there. Now this talks to money issues, and the last I checked on Oyster Box, exceptionally irregular use of money, of funds, SAPS funds, particularly when she says she has a report of this kind of expenditure by General Mchunu with the result that there is insufficient money for petrol for some police vehicles. That would definitely affect the proper functioning of the police if this is correct. Would you agree?
Yes, I would agree.
And that would be a matter that would be of some concern to you.
Yes, correct.
Having received this, because this claim is slightly different from the claim set out in the letter of the 10th of October, so it's a further claim. Did you investigate or cause for an investigation to be undertaken?
No.
May I ask why not?
In the same context that you would receive a lot of stuff about a lot of issues quite frequently, such that you deem it enough to read
Okay.
if you come across such, but you don't necessarily, do an investigation. You
Okay.
see it as an allegation made by Mr. Haas, but you don't get it up to that level of investigation.
When we turn to page 266,
260.
266,
Okay.
yes. Overleaf,
Yes.
then beyond the midway of the page, there are two boxes. The second box, under the question, what do you want the Portfolio Committee on Police to do? Then she states under 1 and 2 what she was asking of the Portfolio Committee. I would like us to look at item 2 in her response, because where she starts the second sentence, third line, under item 2, that reads, there must be an audit of funds allocated to this team for, quite apart from its gross abuses of suspects and others, the fact that it has achieved virtually nothing in terms of solving well-known politically linked cases in the 6 years it has operated confirms that it is a complete waste of taxpayers' money and raises serious questions about its real agenda being politically driven. Do you see where I'm reading?
Yes, I see.
Two questions here. She speaks of gross abuse of suspects and others by this team. Is that your understanding, since becoming the minister, that this team is guilty of gross abuse of suspects and others?
I'm aware that she made that.
No, are you aware of the claim that she makes?
Yes.
Okay, now, do you know the PKTT to be involved in gross abuses of suspects and others? You, Minister, personally?
No, I don't have.
When you receive this document, and I will assume that it's a serious matter, if it were ever to be held to be true, once again, you did not seek to inquire into the correctness of the claim or to even, investigate, at least with General Masemola, about the issue, this particular issue raised. You didn't do that.
No.
Why not?
It's in the same context that
Oh, okay.
I raised before. You read, you keep, but you don't necessarily follow up.